Everybody wants to know what I would do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know.
Hey, we got one.
We doing everything they talk about. You know I'm everything a boss about. Not putting work and gotta toss them out. I'm really biting, they just barking out. I'm really riding, they just parking now. His street, what to talk about. See the big H when I'm walking out. Yeah.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to this episode of Base Coverage presented to you by our partners at Knoah Teamwear. And I'm your host, Jamal Clay. And thank you guys for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, but most importantly, share with a friend. And let's keep this conversation going. Hey, them guards, though. Them guards, we got one, baby. You know, the Helvetic Guards took over a win against the Barcelona Dragons, 22-19. I mean, you know, heading into this week, you know, there was conversations about which team would get it first. And I'm just glad the Guards got one. You know, I've never been so happy to have been wrong about a prediction this season. But, hey, them Guards, we got one. Sky Noble, 14 for 29, 117 yards and a touchdown. Dog. I mean, we got Silas Nsita, 143 all-purpose yards and a touchdown. Dog. Marcel Beard, 2 TDs. Dog. But most importantly, my guy John Neal's best kicker in the league with the 57-yarder. Dog. Hey, this is a great team win. Good for the Guards being able to get this win at home, beating a Dragons team coming off a bye. You know, this is a great win for the Helvetic Guards, and you know, now we're ready for all the smoke. So whoever's next up, hey, we'll take it. But shout out to them Guards taking home the victory. All right. Now, there's a lot of other stuff to get into, but I want to give a quick shout out to my Kalanda Broncos. This is championship week. We're playing the Thune Tigers, and then the Broncos are trying to capitalize on the Swiss Bowl. I'm representing for them today. I'll be representing all week as we drop some videos. So shout out to them boys. So there's a lot of good things to talk about in terms of week 6. Man, we had some great games this weekend. Let's start with this, the shootout in Milan against the Frankfurt Galaxy, right? Luke Zaraka's always got to find a way to keep you in the game. The one thing that showed towards the end is you have one defense who, was one of the best defenses, especially in the past defense in the league, didn't have their best game, but came up with it matter most against a defense who actually has been struggling all season. But, how about Prague getting the win over the Kings, 35-0? How about them Lions? Paris surged, another great game, 14-6. Stuttgart continues their 5-game win streak. We have the Ravens. Ravens is making things interesting, almost shaking things up against the Fire. I had a feeling that was going to be a close game, and that's what that game came out to. So there were a lot of good games, especially with talks of there being a ton of blowouts. Week 6 was a lot of good games. But there are some things that we do got to talk about. All right, one of the things we got to talk about. How about the Hamburg defense? Sheesh. Why you do them boys like that for Rusloff, man? The Hamburg defense playing the number 1 rushing offense in the league. Excuse me, the number 2 rushing offense in the league, held to 14 yards on 23 carries. That's disrespectful. That looks personal, right? But they did it, and shout out to that defense. Shout out to the team for a good team win against the Rusloff Panthers. And Rusloff is at a point now where their season is going to be on the line. But let me explain that, because you got Vienna twice, you got Berlin, you got Prague he almost lost to, and then you have the Kings. Obviously, we know that situation. They can't go less than 3-2 if they want to stay in the hunt, right? So you have to find a way to bare minimum be 3-2 within the next couple of games. Otherwise, it's going to look a little shaky for the Panthers. But their hardest stretch of their schedule is coming up. But ultimately, what I want to say was that was a great defensive performance by the Hamburg Sea Devils. Oh, man, now let's go to what the game of the week was. How about Vienna whooping the Raiders, whooping them? I mean, Chris Helbig, 15 for 21, 213, 3 tugs, whooped the Raiders. How about Christian Strong under 180 passing yards, right? Whenever they're held under 180, they've lost so far this season, right? They can't whoop. Vikings whooped them. And this was frustrating because I wanted a good game. I wanted a close game, and obviously I know that wasn't guaranteed. But It was 27-6 going into the fourth quarter. Vienna's just on a whole nother different level in the Battle of Austria. They remain undefeated. That's 3-0 against the Raiders. And you know what? I have learned my lesson, right? Because the Vienna Vikings, despite the games that they played, and we could talk about their schedule all I want, you know, they're 1 or 2. They're 1 or 2 up there, all right? So we definitely gotta give a shout out to the Vikings. All right. But ultimately week 6 was a fun one to watch. Again, shout out to them guards though. Shout out to my guards getting the win. I'm happy for them boys that are over there in Switzerland. We'll see what happens. Tune in later this week. We got some more videos dropping, and then we're gonna head into week 7 in the ELF. Almost at the turning point of the season. All right, where it's all downhill from there. So thank you guys for tuning in.
Hard work, they don't know about it. Hard work, they don't know